And that's really interesting. I'm a person that I like character, but I also like action. I'm visual. I was raised went to school as a visual artist. I studied painting, and was always into comic books and that kind of stuff. So it's also important to me that a story really move along, and that there be stuff that's exciting in a kind of a visceral way as well as an emotional way. And you were talking about you thought that some of the best of the dystopian stuff was being written by people outside the genre.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure that's true. There's I don't know if you've read and I'm going to blank on the name. There's what's the name of the Hunger Games?
Right.
The Hunger Games?
Right.
I don't know, would you consider her in genre?
Oh, she's absolutely in genre, and she's great.
And I think that's just brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I read very recently, and I'm not sure if I should say the name, I read a fantasy novel written by someone who was a non-genre writer. And the claim, and I heard him talking on NPR, that his claim was that this was not going to be a genre fantasy novel, that it was not going to have the major evil, that it was going to be more realistic, that it was going to... Say the name. It was The Wizards. And I don't remember the author. It sounded great when I heard it on NPR. And I read it and I thought it was complete junk.
Yeah. I wasn't making any kind of a gross...
No, I wasn't accusing you
Yeah.
that you were, and I wasn't arguing with you either.
Yeah.
I was just saying that there is another point of view.
Yes.
And the trouble that I had trouble with that, which was supposed to be a literary take on the fantasy novel. It was supposed to be Harry Potter done brainier than Harry Potter. Now, the posit was that in order to learn magic, you needed to be not only special, but kind of a genius level character. And so that they had gathered these people together in order to teach them magic, which involved not just the kind of, flipendo kind of stuff Harry Potter, but involved in complex rituals and skills and that kind of stuff. And it was just, I thought it was deadly boring. The characters were very flat for me. I was lucky enough to grow up in a town in Massachusetts where a huge percentage of the people I grew up with went to MIT, Harvard, and Brown, and the top school. This was a brainiac school. I dated a girl in a family where all three of their children got perfect scores on their SATs. Okay, one of my friends he graduated from MIT in 5 years with 3 degrees, and he was the valedictorian. Okay? So I know from smart people, and this literary novel about smart people, the people in that novel were stupid. None of them acted anything like any of the smart people I knew. And they were supposed to be teenagers on the cusp of adulthood this was kind of a college setting rather than a high school setting. And it took them 3/4 of the book before anyone started thinking about sex. And I'm thinking, okay.
It's like that movie Waking Life. Where everyone it's animated after being filmed. Does anyone know this movie? And you've got Juliette Binoche and Ethan Hawke, or two very attractive actors in a bed talking about philosophy. And all I can think is, if you're using an interesting visual technique and you've got these two performers, what the hell are they talking philosophy? Please don't think that.
No, and I wasn't accusing you of that. I was just wanting to play out the other end. I'd rather read Robert E. Howard, and I will read Robert E. Howard again and again and again before I will ever touch the Wizards.
Right, but check out P.D. James, check out Ishiguro, check out Margaret Atwood, and I'll go to the complete other end of the spectrum and say that another of my absolute favorite dystopias is The Dark Knight, be it in graphic novel or the best superhero movie ever made. What kind of dystopia? It's not a kleptocracy. That's modern day Russia, Putin Russia. It is a sociopathocracy, is The Dark Knight, where the most powerful people in the city, all men, are the Joker, a sociopath, Batman, a borderline, a head case, and by the end, Harvey Dent, who was the Shining Knight and has been turned into a monster. And that's not literary, that's graphic novel, that's a comic book, and
Stop making making that distinction. I mean, Neil Gaiman worked on that. I mean, I think The Dark Knight is
Sure.
totally literary.
Okay.
And, you know, and
Let me put quotation marks around it.
there's
Yeah.
bad literary fiction, there's good literary
Sure,
fiction.
oh, absolutely so.
Yeah.
There's, most literary
Yeah.
fiction is too dense for me. Yeah,
Me too.
and what I try to do in my non-genre work is have one foot there in literary and one foot in mainstream so that it's accessible. I want my readers to be considering the ramifications of what they're reading in my books, but not to wonder what the hell is going on.
And I aim mostly to entertain. I mean, the venture guarantee, monsters optional. That pretty much sums up my philosophy.
Okay, what did you guys think of old classics like Ursula Le Guin?
Okay.
I'm a huge fan.
And I can't stand her.
I've liked everything I've ever read by her.
For this reason right here. You know, I bought The Left Hand of Darkness because for years I'd been looking at it in the bookstore and the cover art really intrigued me.
Okay.
And I couldn't find a character I believed or cared about or could even really know in the whole length, considerable length of that book.
That was mostly theory, I think.
Yeah, and if I want theory, I go to the philosophy
Well, what
section.
about some of the other ones? Because she's got, you know, the Earthsea trilogy.
I'm
and
crazy about the Earthsea.
After I read Left Hand, I didn't read another.
You should check out Earthsea, it's really wonderful.
Yeah.
But some of the other classic, you know, SF and fantasy writers have a lot of admiration for, not just Nolan, but Clarke and Heinlein, Asimov, Bradbury, Charles
I'm a
Beaumont.
huge Heinlein fan.
Beaumont, who wrote a lot of the Twilight Zone episodes, the original ones. Richard Matheson's.
Matheson's terrific.
Yeah, yeah.
Terrific writer.
Do you include like Huxley and, you know?
Yeah, you know, Huxley and, who wrote 1984?
Orwell.
Yeah.
I generally don't teach them, and I generally don't go that way because most people already know them from high school.
Okay.
But-
How about like Jules Verne, like Sleeping
Oh,
Beauty
great
and-
stuff. And Wells, H.G.
Yeah.
Wells.
Wells is
Island of
wonderful.
Dr. Moreau is one of my favorite dystopias. You know, where you're creating the manimals, turning animals into people. And I think if you read that today and you think at all about bioethics and animal rights, it's a whole new book.
Well, and that's what makes the great science fiction writers great.
That's
one
right.
of the things. is
They're
that-
timeless and universal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Wells is certainly one, and Verne another.
Yeah.
Well, what's here is if you look at like Fahrenheit 451,
Yeah.
how many elements of that book are true today?
It's called the Patriot Act.
Well, then, never mind that, we've got wall-sized TV screens and
That's true.
people that
All
are
size TV
living.
screens, the shelves, I mean, people running around with earbuds in, you
Right.
can't even talk to them.
Right.
Right.
You're right. That's why I said prophetic
Don't use it
voices. Prophetic voices. Yeah. Watch it happen. Soylent Green, based on Harry Harrison's novel, Make Room, Make Room. Good book, better movie, because they took the central metaphor and made it literal. People are consuming each other to survive and not knowing it, and they really don't want to know. When I saw that movie when it came out, I was like 11. It scared the hell out of me because it seemed so plausible.
Well, and it does, and if you see it now, it actually
It's
looks like it's
happening.
happening.
It's happening.
Well,
Yeah.
there's, organ farming now, right? I mean, we're buying organs from.
Right.
So
That's right. And Never Let Me Go takes that to its logical next station. The border school kids, in England, at a fancy border school, being told you're special, you're so special. It's because they are clones of original people and they're being raised for their organs.
That sounds like The Island.
It's so much better.
But that close,
It's
there was
really
another
good.
one of
It's
those in the
beautifully
70s.
Yeah, isn't it?
Or
Isn't
something
it?
like that.
The Island took elements of Never Let Me Go and elements of the movie version of Logan's Run and kind of smushed them together.
You said Never Let Me Go is the name of that?
Never Let Me Go. That's what we should go.